Okay, so wasn't too difficult to take the car stock off. Just disconnected the quick connect. Obviously undid the set screws. Now I had, Sean, with your recommendation, going back, I don't know, like a month or two ago, whenever it was, I had removed, well, filled in at least half of this expansion tank. I don't know if you can see in there or not. Let me get out my handy dandy bore scope, bore light, and of course we have all sorts of shit built up in there. I gotta clean that out. I think that might be silicone grease and everything else, but you can see most of this expansion tank, it's filled in by that hollow plastic buffer that I put in there. Hollow piece of plastic that I put in there. And then really the rest of it is, you can't delete anyways, right? So, yeah, that's all, it's all silicone. It's all silicone grease. I took this apart a couple times and to service it, so it's got a lot of silicone, a lot of this, what do you call this stuff here? Super lube, synthetic grease. So that's what I usually use on all the O-rings when I service the gun. Which it's probably due for servicing as well, so I probably should pull the bolt and everything out and service it. But yeah, so I'm going to take this piece off next, and I think it'll work. I think all I'm going to do is put this ASA adapter in with this other end, quick connect end over here, and then I imagine that should be the same size thread. Put it in there. Maybe I'll throw some Teflon tape on it just for now. Yeah, once I get this in the back, I should just be able to bend this line, I would think, and it doesn't look like too tight, too extreme of a bend. No worse than I've seen other guys do, so yeah, I think that'll work just for testing. So I'll finish putting that together and give that a test at some point tomorrow. I got some other things I got to get off my plate tomorrow before I can play, though. But once I get that done, get caught up with some of the things I got going on around the house, I'm in the middle of, well, I shouldn't say the middle, I'm on the tail end of a bathroom remodel job that I'm doing in my upstairs bathroom. Just basically tiled in a shower, new shower. And I got to finish the rest of the finish work on it. But once I'm done with doing some of that tomorrow, I am going to put aside some time to play, since I'm on vacation this week. So, and we'll put aside some time to play with the Pastelli. Yeah, we'll do that, and of course I'll upload a video. We'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that the fix I did for the magazine helps. It's something that I saw on Dan Sterling's channel going back maybe 8 months ago or something like that. Something about the, either blocking it out or removing that nipple. I opted to go with blocking it out. And after what I saw tonight, I'm glad. I'm glad that I did. Let me see if I can get this thing here. Yeah, so it's a closet in my office. But so what I did was, now I'm wishing I didn't mess around with this here, but it doesn't seem to be causing a worse problem. So, but all I did was I just took some of that GB Weld steel stick and mixed up a little bit, rolled it around with your fingers, made a couple small beads, and just blocked off that little hole. so that, see, yeah, it doesn't look that pretty. I gotta clean it up a little bit, but it's hard. Now it's not gonna go down into that slot and lock. So I did that on all 3 of the mags that I own. So at least now it's not going to go over and lock in position. It should continue to go up with the rounds as they're shot. Actually had similar thing happen to the BP50. I had a mag drop on me twice on the BP50 with the one that I have with the tuning barrel on it. So I did the same thing here. Same concept, just blocked off that little spot with some JB Weld steel stick. And this way it can't go in the groove any longer. And then I could retain the nipple, because the nipple's going to be important at the top of the mag. Once it gets up to the top of the mag, I could see it being important to keep that, as I think you found out. So, yeah. Anyways, we'll put this aside for now so that I can do some testing tomorrow with it bypassed. I really love this stock though. So I don't know if I want to hang it up yet or not, unless I can find if this helps and I get all that pressure, preheated CO2 pressure, if I end up getting 1200 PSI right to the back, I'm sure I'm gonna see a power increase. Obviously, that'd be a 400 PSI increase. But I can control, if I only do 2 or 3 cycles, then I'm only seeing about 1,000 to 1,100 coming out of there. So, I just won't, I'll just pierce it before I do, the 1200 is what, when I saw the 1200 PSI, that was when I pierced it after 4 cycles. So I had 4 full heating cycles. So the cartridges were probably internally very warm. They were probably up around that 100 degrees, I would think, or maybe 90 plus degrees internally. If I puncture it after 2 or 3 cycles, which allows me to shoot sooner, so it speeds up the process. But if I puncture it after 2 or 3, then consistently I've been seeing about anywhere between 1,000 and 1,100 PSI. The key is getting the cylinders, the cartridges up the temperature that you want, and then puncturing them. So once they're punctured, the heater doesn't really play into it that much. It probably does maintain the temperature a little bit in there, but it probably doesn't play into it as much as it does before you puncture them. So anyways, I'll cut this video short. I'm gonna try to figure this out tonight and shoot it tomorrow. Wish me luck. Okay, so with that end off out of the back of the Mercury Rise CO2 ASA adapter, you can see from Mercury Rise, this ASA adapter has that pin already built into it. So I could take a 90 gram straight into this with an adapter. I would need that 90 gram adapter, of course, but I could go straight into that with my 90 gram in the stock. So I could shoot 90 with it, or I could obviously I could put the 2 times 12 gram directly in there like you were doing. However, in my case, not so much, because welded to the side of my 90 gram, my 2 times 12 gram is my heating element, and on the other side is my thermal switch. That's also welded to the gun in order for the preheater to function. And I don't want to mess with that. I do have another puncture, quick puncture 2 times 12 gram that I use in my other guns. So I could just screw it in the back here with a 90 gram adapter. And do it that way. But then I would be bypassing the preheater, and I really want to test this with the preheater directly connected. So I'm thinking this is going to work for me. Should be able to just spin this in here. I'll lubricate that O-ring, and I'll probably, I don't know, I'm just with the O-ring, I shouldn't need any additional sealing with that O-ring there, but I'll loop it up really good, and I'll test it first with just a 12 gram in the handle. I'll do a quick test so that I can make sure if I'm gonna have a leak, I'd rather only have a leak under 112 gram rather than all three. So, but yeah, I can just put that there, and then I think that'll make it. Can't do it. I need a third hand. But anyways, this is my idea. We'll see if that'll make it. But now I just thought of it. I had been Velcroing the battery on the stock. Now I won't have a stock, so I'll have to, I'll temporarily, I guess, zip tie the battery somewhere. I'll figure something out just for testing purposes. I'll zip tie it somewhere, maybe. I don't know. I gotta figure something out. Gotta have a battery. No good without the battery.